Welcome back to ForzNaples. I'm Ian, joined as always by Paul. Paul, we've got 7 points in our last 3 league matches. FC Naples comes back from behind to win 2-1 against Richmond Kickers. What did you make of all this one?
I think it was a phenomenal come-from-behind win. Most of the time this year when we've conceded first, we have not walked away with many points. One come-from-behind victory all season, so getting the second one felt nice. Bring some positive vibes going into August. Kind of back to the winning ways. I think that's one where when we got the equalizer, you're thinking, okay, great, we'll take the point. But then you get the penalty that Farine botches. Fortunately, we are able to score right, moments later. With the way the second half went, I think it would have been a disappointing result had we only walked away with one. So I'm glad that they were able to do what they needed to walk away with the victory. And the lads should be proud with the way they played, especially without Onan in the lineup. They looked good.
Yeah, I think this is our third match in a row where we've conceded first, but then come back to get something out of it. So you look at Westchester, we gave up a penalty in the 14th minute to go down 1-0, and then we come right back. We win that one 2-1. You look at AV Alta, like we talked about in the last episode, the rare draw that feels like a win. We give up a goal in the first half, come back, score. Cisneros hits an absolute banger of a goal to put us at 1-1 and 90 plus 2. And then you look at this one, we give up a goal in the 12th minute, and it was a pretty unfortunate goal, I thought.
Very.
Yeah, we just kind of got caught out in transition, and then it's a decent shot, but it just kind of deflects off of Breck Evans, and there's not much anyone could do about it to put us down 1-0 12 minutes in. But then the second half, we come out firing on all cylinders, and Perpa gets on the board in the 57th. We missed the penalty, like you mentioned, but that's no problem. We've got Carson Henderlong, and he's absolutely deadly in transition. So yeah, another gritty come-from-behind win, and I think we've kind of seen this team start to turn a corner. Like you said, as we get into August now and late July, we seem to be kind of on a different level, coming out of those previous months where we had struggled a little bit. So it's been really good to see this new and improved FC Naples who's coming from behind and picking up points.
Yeah, and it's like we talked about when we were on the hot streak early, right? Soccer's a long season, and you can't get too high when you have a couple wins in a row. You can't get too low when you drop a few points. At the end of the day, you want to be in form late, and we want to be in form at the end of September. And that's what they're looking like. That first goal, you're right though, it did feel unfortunate, but it felt like they deserved a goal there. I actually think that if they hadn't scored there, they would have been disappointed. That whole build-up screamed they were going to score, and I can't believe that that's how the ball ended up finding the back of the net with the space they had. I think it deflected off 2 guys. But it's funny because you can talk all year long about the goals that you have that are unfortunate, and you can say the same thing for us with our first goal. Took a fortunate bounce that ends up beating the keeper. So really, just even in the one game, both opening goals were kind of fortunate bounces for the teams. And then we criticize the officials, I feel like, quite frequently on this podcast. And refs need the love when they do good things and see things that are tough to see. And I think the handball call in the box, I had to replay it twice to see it. So unbelievably impressed that as soon as the guy went up, he pointed right to the spot before our guy could even, make his appeals that it was a handball. The ref was already pointing to the spot. So an unbelievable call by the official on the field.
Yeah, overall, I thought this game, and we've kind of talked about not talking about the officiating because it does seem to be pretty bad and inconsistent week in and week out, and we've just kind of given up hope, and that's what we've come to expect, which is fine. It's a low league pro soccer. It's a development league for the referees too. We've both refereed our fair share of sports. I've refereed soccer, and it's difficult, and this is where these guys get better at, but we've just kind of ignored that. But I do have to give a shout out to I thought the refereeing crew in this one was probably the best one we've seen in a while, and you're right, to catch that handball. I had to rewatch it a couple times too on replay before I realized it, and we were talking about it before we started recording too, and just how is it a little too harsh, but it really isn't, because that ball could have been driven back across, and we could have had a chance there had it not hit his hand. So agree, 100% handball, always a handball, and yeah, just unfortunate we couldn't make it 2-1 at that time. But like we've talked about, Henderlong did the job, and he's lethal in transition. Should we get into the penalty now and breaking that down?
Yeah, let's so much dancing. And I think I'm okay with that in a penalty shootout when there's a lot of people stepping up and you're trying to get in the keeper's head. But it in the normal run of play, I think you just got to step up, pick a side, and just try to bury it. And if the keeper is better than you on that one shot, you tip your cap. But you can't miss the net. You can't do all of that and then miss the net.
Right. And he's like Andres Farine. I was in the moment. I was actually watching it with my dad, and we're watching it, and he's like, he's going to miss this, because it was just such a weird run up, and my dad's very old school. I thought he was going to make it because he's been so good all season long from the spot, and then to just put it that far wide, like you said, at least put it on frame. Keeper saves it. Okay, good save. Well done, keeper. But to put it that far wide and to have that awkward of a run up, it wasn't pretty, wasn't great. It was rough all around, and that's when I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna lose this game. It was 1-1 at that point, and I didn't think we'd have. I thought that would have sucked all the momentum out of us, given them all the momentum, but they proved me wrong. And I think a couple moments later, Richmond had a corner, and then we cleared the ball, hit him in transition on the counterattack like we've done so many times this season. And, Henderlong gets the ball, and he doesn't miss from there. So a great job, I thought, by the team to not let that take the momentum out of the game, and to really hit Richmond just when they thought they had got something. We took it right back from them.
Yeah, and the other thing too, last negative Nelly point I'll make is when you miss the net completely, you're taking away the opportunity for the rebound. Too, it's not like in the penalty shootout where you got to go for the goal because it's one and done. But there, even if the keeper makes a save, he has to do so much after that to keep the ball in the net. So would have liked a better attempt. And it kind of shows why Onan probably is our primary penalty taker. But with how many shootouts we played this year, and with Onan missing a few games here, good to have somebody in the backup spot there. But yeah, that build up to our goal was awesome. And number 5, I think it was number 5 for them, was so clearly kept him on side. And the fact that he just put his arm up and stopped running, trying to sell that was offsides, was almost comical. And it's no, it's funny when your top goal scorer is putting balls in the back of the net, how you tend to win more games. So good to see him back on the score sheet, and directly leading to 3 points.
Yeah, definitely big. I think Farine had been our primary penalty taker. I know he scored the first one against Chattanooga, and I think he had another one too, where he scored a penalty. But I think he might. Yeah, I think he scored another one against Omaha earlier in the season. But I think he might be off.
Okay.
Might be off penalty duty now. But overall, we can't dwell on the negatives. I thought it was a great second half performance, especially they scored early. We kind of, it's like I think it was a Mike Tyson quote that everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Might be a Muhammad Ali. It's a boxer, I know. But we seem to have a plan coming out. No Jaden Onan, who we're hoping is recovering. We'll try to figure out what is going on with him and why he's missing from the squad. He did have an Instagram story up from a hospital bed. So hopefully he is recovering well, and we'll have him back in the lineup soon. But we seem to have this plan, and then they kind of came out guns a-blazing. They had a couple big chances early on. They get this goal in the 12th minute, and then I thought we kind of settled into the match and started to defend really well, especially towards the end of the second half. We didn't really give them much, and they didn't really have much of a response for us. Richmond's kind of struggled as of late. They're currently sitting down in 11th in the table out of 14 teams, and they've lost quite a few games in a row. I believe it was 4 games in a row here in the league. So it's been a struggle for them. But for us to kind of take away all their chances the first half, nothing really after we gave up the goal. And then we came out in the second half a completely different team, and I thought we were kind of taking it to them and knowing when we should counter versus knowing when we just need to dispossess them and make them, play backwards.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do. You need to take care of business when you are playing teams at the bottom of the table. Even on the road, that's what the best teams do, and uh, that's what separates teams that win the league and finish mid-table. Is you beat the lower table teams on the road, and that pays dividends down the road. So you're playing the top table teams, you'll live with points. But the bottom table, you got to feed off of those teams, and Richmond's in a slump, and we took advantage and we played a good game and deserved the 3 points that we got.
Right, and it was kind of like I saw someone commented on the USL League One Insta post where it was like 5 minutes of absolute madness by FC Naples to win it. But sometimes that's all it takes. It's a long game, it's a long season, and if you can come alive for 5 minutes, get 2 goals, do what you need to do, and then defend, which is kind of been our MO all season, and it's worked. And this was another example where it worked. And you look at the other game against Richmond we had earlier in the season, it was a lot of the same thing where we came out, we got 2 goals pretty early, and then we just kind of suffocated them and didn't let them into the final third. Again, they had a lot more possession than us. 57% possession. They had 47 total shots, 2 on target, or 14 total shots, 2 on target, to our 12 total shots with 2 on target as well. So they had more of the ball, but they didn't really do much more with it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the counter strike game. Richmond's probably not, they're looking for a goal there, and in turn we score, thinking they're going to build some momentum. They get the corner, they stop the penalty, they get the corner, they're thinking, hey, here's a chance we can go from being down 2-1 to up 2-1, and then just like that, Headlong makes them pay for cheating up too much. It can happen in a blink of an eye. Although Casey did mention that your Instagram story of the goal was a very long video. But it was a beautiful build-up and just great execution. Um, you know, Too often you see players just have that opportunity. The goal looks so big and they don't capitalize. So, like you said, and belongs so precise and dangerous in those areas. Can we take credit for, giving him the advice that maybe he should score more goals? I think we could take some credit for that.
Oh, absolutely. I think we have to take the credit for that.
Yeah,
We've taken all the blame.
Trying.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, I thought that the back line and then kind of the middle of the midfield especially all had a great game, which was great to see. The back line between Cisneros and Glasser out in the wings, and then Evans and Dangler. Other than the first goal where they kind of caught us out in transition, I thought Dangler was really far ahead. He missed the tackle, and then Evans had closed him down, done everything right,
yep.
and it's just an unfortunate bounce, right? So it's just unfortunate. We kind of get caught out, but then that was really the only mistake they really made at the back. I thought they were clinical, especially late in the game when it seemed like Richmond just kept getting corners. We didn't give them anything. And the shots we did have, we had a guy right on him, and they put him over the bar, put him wide. They didn't really have time to think about it. So I thought they did really well. And then Mark Torres, Luca Perpa, and then Chris Heckenberg as well, I thought were fantastic. Perpa obviously scored a goal, had the assist. Torres with an assist as well on the Perpa goal. I thought they were deadly running through the middle, which I don't think we've seen a whole lot of, and it's something we've been kind of asking for earlier, especially when we kind of started that slump of where's our middle of the midfield. It seems like everything's out wide down the wings, and I thought those guys really stepped up this game, and had also kind of stepped up in that AV Alta game. So it's been good to see us kind of develop that middle of the midfield.
Yeah, and you talk about their goal, right? The build up to their goal. Yeah, was it who'd you say made the Dangler, right? Dangler made the
Right.
missed the tackle. I actually thought we played that. I thought the defense played that really well. That's why I was saying they should have scored there, but they shouldn't have scored. You know what I mean? Like I thought Evans did the right thing, and if that ball bounces any other way, it's a brilliant defensive play. It's just unfortunate that, you know, he was in the right position and it just took a funky bounce. But watching that, I thought that he did the right thing. It's not like the goals we had seen kind of during the slump where everybody's kind of pointing fingers of who was supposed to mark that man, or who was supposed to close down on that guy. I thought it was actually a really good scramble, a really good recovery, and the ball just took an unfortunate bounce that happens. It happens.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you're going to give up a goal, that's the kind of goal where it's like not much you can do about that. That's well played to them, and they got lucky, quite honestly.
Mhm.
Unfortunate, you move on, and we responded, which is all you can really ask for there, especially in the second half. First half, it was a lesser of a response, but then second half, I don't know if the coaching staff kind of said something in the locker room to get them fired up for the second half, but it was a new team in the second half, and one that came out swinging, which was great to see.
And it wasn't an eventful first half, and that's okay. They didn't let that unfortunate foul spiral into them getting the second goal.
Right.
They stopped the bleeding. It's a 90-minute game. We had 78 minutes to find an equalizer. We were able to do that and then then we had 40 minutes to find a winner. We did that too. Um, so that's with the way we had been playing. I think now you can say maybe we're out of the funk. Not quite, wasn't quite ready to say that after 4 points in 2 games, but now that we've got 7-3, you can maybe say that. But when we were in that down period, that's the type of things that would cause us to spiral, like that AV Alta game that ended up 4-1. That unfortunate bounce could have spiraled to them getting a second goal, and now you're down 2 goals on the road. That's one that you're praying for a point out of there. So really, really good by the team to stop the bleeding and take advantage late.
Yeah, an impressive response and a pretty solid performance coming back. You can't complain much more. And like you said, these are the games we've got to pick up 3 points in, to keep our spot in the table and keep moving up in the table. It's playing these bad teams, and we've got another one, maybe two coming up here this week. Which let's start talking about here. The South Georgia Tormenta coming to town on Wednesday night. This one, I believe, is going to be on the CBS Sports Network. So FC Naples, network TV debut, if you will, on CBS Sports Network. Also on Paramount Plus. If you are a cord cutter and want to watch, it'll be on Paramount Plus as well. But home game, 8 p.m. kickoff against South Georgia Tormenta. South Georgia is currently sitting in 12. This is, as I've dubbed it, the world's second largest outdoor cocktail party, between a Florida team and a Georgia team, right? It's got to be an outdoor cocktail party. So Wednesday night at 8 p.m., Paradise Coast. South Georgia Tormenta, they've played 17 games as well. They're currently sitting in 12th on 16 points, where FC Naples currently sitting in 6th on 26 points. So a 10-point advantage for us. We did play earlier in June, another Wednesday night game, and we lost 2-1. That was one where we gave up an own goal early, came back, scored, I think, and then had a man sent off. Cisneros was sent off, and then gave up a goal late. Unfortunate, but I think this is a game where we've got to pick up 3 points and get some revenge against the Tormenta.
Yeah, Onan put in a PK in that one to tie it in the first half. Uh, Yeah, we don't want to overuse the must win, but I just mentioned it. You want to pick up 3 points against teams in the bottom half of the table when you're on the road, which means when you're at home, you absolutely need to pick up 3 points um, against teams in the bottom half. Uh, Wednesday night game, kind of quick turnaround. Hopefully, it won't be too hot at 8 p.m. I'm guessing that's why it's an 8 p.m. kick. Maybe it's for the CBS Sports Network. Not sure, but you know, it's a Wednesday night. Hopefully, there's a good showing from the crowd, from the fans. But yeah, it's a revenge game. Seems like we're trending up. They seem to be trending down. I think when we played them the first time, they were starting to get hot and have obviously cooled down. So yeah, looking to officially say we're out of the slump. If we can walk away with 3 points on Wednesday night.
Yeah, they played Saturday as well. Drew Greenville 2-2 at home with a 90th minute, 90 plus 11 minute goal. So super late goal from them. They're kind of used to the heat. I know it is. They're in Statesboro, Georgia. It's been really hot there too, so we don't have much of an advantage there. But yeah, a team that's not been playing great, hasn't been picking up a lot of points. I think this is a game where if we want to keep climbing up the table, we got to be shooting for 3 points here. And 3 points, looking at the table, would put us potentially in third if we win by enough goals. Could overtake Charlotte with. I think that would be our game in hand then at that point, because they don't play until Saturday. So we'd both be on 18 games. We'd be on 29 points, so that would put us up to third, confirmed here in our live production meeting as we're figuring this out as we record. But yeah, a game that I think we've got to pick up 3 points.
Yeah, is the Onan injury something that, and we're just assuming it's an injury based on his Instagram post. I couldn't find anything from any official news outlet or uh, from the team, which I thought was a little odd. I thought the team would put out something about why he wasn't in the lineup. But is his absence something that uh, both in the short term and long term. I think in the long term, we can both agree that him being out would drastically hurt our chances of lifting a trophy at the end of the year. But in the short term, is that something that concerns you?
I think yes and no. I know we kind of mentioned before we started recording, we're not even going to mention the Greenville squad rotation game, but I did think our guys did the squad rotating did show out. Like those guys, I was impressed in the overall performance. So I think we do have a little more depth than we originally thought. So yes and no. I think he's just a player that's on another level compared to a lot of guys in the league, and he adds so much. But also we've shown, last week and this week again, the Torres and Perpa and Heckenberg have done really well in the middle of the field. So if they can keep up and keep on performing consistently like they did against Richmond, and I know Onan was playing in the AV Alta game, but Torres and Heckenberg, and then even Ian Sarro, I thought had pretty decent games as well throughout there. I think we'll be a-okay, and then we'll get him back, hopefully just in time for the come playoff time, and then we'll be firing on all cylinders again.
Yeah, it's really tough to speculate when we don't know what his injury is. We don't know, we have no knowledge of what the injury is, but I do think that it's good for squad rotation type, more guys, more minutes, because he's the guy that, if healthy, is in the 11. I don't think there's any question with his versatility and his skill level. I really do think he's probably our best player. Um, but we were able to pick up 3 points without him on Saturday, and hoping we can keep that going Wednesday night.
Yeah, I liked Kevin O'Connor and Tyler Pasnick coming off the bench. I thought they both did a great job, and that was kind of a interesting tactical choice, especially on the road. We kind of seemed to be going for it with that starting 11. And then to have those guys come off the bench and kind of shore things up. Roscoe Rubenstein, again, he came off the bench as well, late on, 88th minute, along with Sulia for Ian Cerro. But just bringing on those pretty solid defenders, I think that might be our MO kind of going forward, is starting off strong attacking and then bringing these guys on to shore things up if we are still down. But so after that, though, another tight week, 3 games this week, 3 games Saturday to Saturday. After South Georgia Tormenta, home again to Texoma. I know that's your favorite team, Paul. Another must win, you think, for us? Texoma currently sits 5 points back of us on 21 points. Currently sitting in 7th place in the league.
Yeah, I think every time you play Texoma, that's a must win. Um, but funny enough, there is a Tex Arcana, so maybe that will be a new expansion team. Tex Arcana, I drove by that the other day and thought this would be a great town for a USL League One team. Um, but yeah, I think that, what an awesome 8 days it would be for FC Naples if we can walk away with 9 points. Um, and where I'm sitting right now, I would say that's the expectation. I think if you would have talked to me on Friday, I would have taken 7, probably even 6 points. Um, but after the 3 points on the road, you've got 2 bottom half teams coming to our field. Um, you got to walk away with 6 points the rest of the week. And that'll put us right back on top of the table conversation. I don't think we can regain first, but it'll at least bring us back into the mix.
Yeah, getting teams to kind of be afraid of us again and finding different ways to win, coming from behind and winning now, or at least picking up points like we have in these last 3 matches, I think has been huge. But yeah, I'm kind of with you there, where I'd love to see us get 9 points in 3 games. In these 3 games, 9 points in a week can't ask for much more than that. I think I would settle for, I think you're right, I think I would settle for 7 still and be happy with that and say, okay, we'll move on now. We've got a couple more bottom of the table teams coming up with Madison coming to town and then Westchester. But in there, we also have to go to one Knoxville on the Wednesday, August 27th, which they seem to be found something still. They're currently sitting in 4th, so long season ahead, but we got to get hot at the right time, and it seems like we're finally kind of starting to heat up again.
Yeah, and it goes back to evaluating when you go through those ruts. So who's the ruts against? And fortunately for us, it was against some of the better teams. So we weren't dropping too many points to the teams that should be feeding us 3 points. So that's the one positive to kind of that stretch, and hopefully that's behind us now. We can go back to kind of anticipating three points, or at least being hopeful for 3 points and expecting one for the next couple of weeks. And you're right. I think that one Knoxville game at the end of the month is going to be the true test. They're sitting high on the table and they're down 2 or 3 games. They're a team, when they even out, could be top of the table. That's a good team. So, yeah, I think this stretch could really bolster the confidence, and not just in the players but the fans. Get them back excited, and yeah, we'll see how the chips fall.
Yeah, looking forward to Wednesday night. Looking forward to being back in the beer garden with my new chips ready to go. Paul, anything else you want to add before we go?
We're gonna do scoreline predictions for
Oh,
Wednesday.
good call. We got to do scoreline predictions. How could I forget? What's your scoreline prediction then for Wednesday night?
I'm going 2-0. I like us to keep a clean sheet. I feel like it's been a while since we've done that, but based on the way we played the last few games, last game you're a little disappointed they didn't keep a clean sheet with how well they played. So I like them to keep the clean sheet, and I like a goal in each half.
I like it. I think I'm going to go 2-1 Naples. We'll go the opposite of what happened in Statesboro a couple months ago. And say we'll score early, they'll equalize, and then we'll score late in the second half to win it and send everyone home happy. You want to do a scoreline prediction too for your favorite team, Texoma, on Saturday?
Texoma, 5-0.
5-0 Naples?
5-0 Thrasher. It's going to be one. Put the league back on notice. We're back. The boys are back. They're ready to go. 5-0.
I like it. I don't think I'll go as aggressive. I would go 1-0, I think, there. Or do I want to take the 2-1? I think 2-1's like such a cursed scoreline. But, you might not be far off. Texoma's given up a lot of goals lately, so maybe I'll go 3-1 Naples in that one. 3-1 Naples.
I like it. What's our, you got the computer in front of you. What's our highest scoring outing this year?
It looks like ours would be, we beat Union Omaha 3-1. We did beat Texoma 3-0 back in April 5th. So that looks like it's the highest, our highest win this season.
I like Kendra Long 3 goals in the next 2 games.
Okay.
That's where I'm going. He's going to get 3. Freeman's going to have 1. If Onan remains out, I definitely like Purpo to get on the board again. He's had some good goals this year. I think it's only 2, but the first one was a world-class goal, and then last Saturday night. So I like Purpo on the board, Farine, and Henry Long to contribute goals this week.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, we are looking forward to Wednesday night, hoping to see you all there. Paul, I know we will miss you as you are currently in a car somewhere in Texas. But just want to say thank you all so much for listening to us and joining us. We are looking forward to the week ahead. Until then, up the Naples, come on you Blues. We still got to come up with some sort of saying for the team. We're Forest fans. Come on you Reds. Is it come on you Blues? Come on you blue and gold. Up the Blues, up the Naples.
I think, quite frankly, we can lead the charge on that and set the trend. So whatever, we'll get in the lab this week and have something for the next episode.
Yeah. If you've got any suggestions, sound off in our Instagram comments or on Bluesky, or shoot us an email. We love hearing from you all. But yeah, looking forward to this week again. Paul, thanks as always. Until then, insert phrase here for what we want to call ourselves. Come on, Naples. We'll see you Wednesday night.